Hello, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I'm Nala. I'm happy that you're here. Today's video is going to be a reset video. We just kind of sit down, casually chit chat, and reflect over the last month, the goals that we may have set, the books that we read, some of our favorites, and then we will talk about what we are hoping for July, maybe some exciting events coming up, goals that I would like to set, books that I'm hoping to read, yada yada yada. You know the deal. First, I'd like to talk about June, have a little recap of June, some things that happened, some exciting things, some reflections, just kind of things that I learned about myself. There weren't any big events or anything that we did over the month of June, except for Teen left us for about 5 days to go to Mexico because his brother was getting married. So that left me here to kind of parent solo. I have the utmost respect for parents who have to solo parent full-time 100% because that is not easy. Definitely learned a lot through that, but also it was not so challenging where I don't think I could ever do it again. We just ended up going to Mexico because flights for the entire family would have cost a pretty chunk of money that we do not have. Also, huge thing for me personally, if you're not new, you'll notice that we're in a new space. I got my vanity. I have been talking about getting a vanity for quite some time now. It was in like my January vision board for the year of 2024. It's so romantic looking. It's exactly what I wanted. And because I told myself, and I don't want to settle for one where I'm like, yeah, it's okay, I can do that one. I want to be completely and truly enamored and in love with the vanity that I get. But it's just taking my time. And there was one while Martine was in Mexico I saw, and it was so beautiful, and I'm like, that's the one that I would really like to get, but it's over an hour away. Martine's out of the country. There's no way I can get over there with my 3 kids, and I don't have anybody to go help me pick it up. I don't have a vehicle. It's just not gonna work out. Like, that's fine. I'll just deal with it and continue looking. A few days later, I saw this one, and I just knew that there was a reason that I didn't get that other one because it wasn't the right time. Because I saw this one, I'm like, no, I made a mistake. This is the one. And so I ended up messaging the lady pretty late at night, and it was originally listed, I think, for like 100. And I asked her, I was like, would you be willing to take 80? And she had just listed it, and she's like, yeah, I will. It's amazing. So my husband brought his truck from work and went and picked it up, and it's here, and I love it so much. It's exactly what I wanted. I wanted the arched mirror with the drawers, pull out in the middle, the skinny legs on the bottom. I don't know what you would call it, but so incredibly happy. It's exactly what I wanted. That was like another big thing that I was very, very excited about. So I had this whole list of goals for June. I did film a June reset video for ending May, and I never ended up posting it because I just didn't like it. I didn't like the vibes. I didn't like the way that I look. I felt like it was very awkward, and so it's privated. It's there. I just never publicly posted it. I just felt really weird about it, you know? And so I have my June goals here in Notion, and a few things that I talked about in that video was I wanted to keep my screen time low. And in order to achieve that, I set a timer on my phone where I have 3 hours for socials. That's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, which, like, to be honest, I don't go on Facebook. I literally only go on Facebook for the marketplace. I don't even go on there anymore because I got my vanity that I wanted. So it's pretty much between Instagram and TikTok. And I found that has made me very much more aware and has brought down my screen time more. Obviously, you know, I hit some rough patches sometimes where I just have hot days where I just want to scroll. But a huge thing that I set a goal for last month was to create more and consume less. And I feel like I have really upheld that to myself. So I've been posting more on TikTok. I try and post on TikTok maybe 2 to 3 times a day. Out of the last couple of weeks, I've maybe missed 1 day, and that was yesterday. And that's because yesterday was a holiday. Yesterday was the 4th. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, but I did film yesterday on the 4th. I just didn't post it on the 4th. I posted it today. I've been keeping up with that pretty consistently, and I'm pretty proud of myself on that. So, and then create and stick to a morning routine, including exercise. And I did not do this. Just to be completely real, I have this schedule that I would like to stick to where I wake up at a certain time, get the kids set up with their breakfast in the morning, and then go and walk on my pad, maybe put in an audiobook or something and walk for that hour and a half. I just have not been keeping up with that. Instead, I have been getting up, getting their kids their breakfast, and then either falling into cleaning immediately, or I'll sit on the couch and I'll either read some of my book or I will scroll. I've been pretty guilty about that. And that also kind of ties in with some of my other goals that I set, which was to journal consistently, which I also have not been doing. I don't think I picked up my journal once last month. I picked it up, but I didn't actively write in it. And I've been wanting to write every day. And I'll write in my notes app, which is good, but I want to physically write in my journal and keep up with that. My ideal kind of morning would be to wake up probably sometime around like 6:30. My husband wakes up at 6:30 to leave for work at 7. And so I would like to wake up and be able to have maybe like a cup of coffee with him or something, or have a tea in the morning and sit out on the back porch and journal a little bit, just because I am such a night owl. I'm a night person. I would much rather stay up and read my book until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, but then I suffer in the morning and I can't wake up. But I really do need to get myself back on that morning schedule. I do set the tone for the rest of the house. I'm perfectly aware. I have been doing a very lax job on that. I've been pretty, I don't want to use the word lazy, but honestly, I've been pretty lazy. I didn't do that, didn't wake up earlier, didn't journal consistently, and I didn't stick to a morning routine that included exercise. So those are 3 goals that I didn't accomplish this month, but I would still like to kind of carry those over for July. And then the very last one that I have here is to romanticize life more. And I do feel that I've been doing a bit better on that. And I think especially with content creating, that really helps and gives me that strive in order to romanticize my life a bit more, because I love to go back and watch my videos. Might be narcissistic of me, but I love to go back and watch my TikToks or videos that I've made of my family and whatnot, and it just makes me outside looking in almost. I'm seeing myself from a third person perspective and the interactions that I have with my children and within my home and stuff, and I feel that that is a very good way to practice that romanticization. Moving on to some of the things that I'm looking forward to in the month of July. Astrid, she's my middle child. Her birthday, she's going to be turning 6 this year, so we'll be having her birthday party next weekend. She is wanting to have a Garfield birthday party, which is so niche, and I love it for her. Well, is our anniversary on the 29th. I don't know exactly what we have planned. I've mentioned to him that I really want to do like a pottery class, like a full-blown pottery class where you from scratch make pottery. And I would love to make like little mugs or something. Or maybe we'll go do something that he wants, because we typically do what I want most of the time. It is also my niece's birthday. She was actually born on our anniversary. I have a lot of family members who have birthdays this month, but they all live out of state, so it's not really something that we have to change itineraries for and make big plans. We do have a big trip coming up on August 2nd. And so July is, we're just trying to save some money, low budget, low cost. As for the goals that I have this month of July, I don't have a ton. Because I would like to carry over some of these ones from last month. Obviously, like whenever I make these goals, it's not that I'm just trying to have that goal for that month specifically. These are things that I'm trying to build up to create a different kind of lifestyle for myself. And so these are things that I'm trying to slowly integrate into my life rather than just having this complete reset of flipping 180 and burning myself out really quickly. So I'm trying to do things very slowly. This month, I would really love to create a signature series for TikTok. What can draw people in more to your account is whenever you have a signature series and people know what to expect from you. So I would really like to create at least one signature series on TikTok. People have that consistency to know what to expect from that. Typically right now, I'm do a lot of outfit videos over on there, and as well as coffee videos. I'm mainly a bookish account, but I want to sprinkle in all these other things. I'd love to do like bookish content creator, day in the lives, kind of vlog things, and then also more thrifting videos too, because I just love thrifting. I just have a really hard time getting out. Something else that I tried to do last month, but I kind of fell off of just because I have a lot of stomach issues, is taking vitamins regularly. I am really trying to get a hold of like the ADHD and the brain fog and just being unfocused all the time. And I think that these vitamins can really help with that. So I have been doing a lot of research online through like TikTok and articles online and ChatGPT on what vitamins are really good for people who suffer with brain fog and just ADHD and trying to keep that focus and everything. Here is the list of vitamins that I have been taking. Like I said, I kind of fell off of it because I do have like this stomach problem. I'm not entirely sure what it is, if it's gallbladder or ulcer. Either way, there was one vitamin that I took, I'm pretty sure I know what it is, that completely set off my stomach issues, had me in pain for well over a week, and my stomach is just now kind of getting back to regular things. And so I think it was the ashwagandha, because it is also known as like the gassy vitamin because it makes you very, very gassy. And after taking that, I woke up in the middle of the night with horrible stomach pains, and I have medicine that I take for these stomach pains that it's so bad. That really set it off, and it made me really scared to take any more vitamins. But I think that the ones in the morning are a lot safer. I have the omega-3 fatty acids, which is krill oil, good for brain health, and it's shown to improve symptoms of ADHD. Specifically taking krill oil over fish oil because krill oil doesn't give you those nasty little burps. And then I'm also taking vitamin D3 because it supports mood regulation, cognitive function, and overall brain health, as well as lion's mane, this one where it is, I think it's 10 to 12 different fungi, but specifically lion's mane is the one that I was looking for. It enhances cognitive function, memory, and focus. Clearly, I need to keep taking that. I have been drinking some little collagen drinks in the morning, which have been really good. It supports skin, hair, nails, joints, and overall just connective tissue health. I am about to hit 30, so I really want to amp up my game on that collagen, you know. And then also I have L-theanine, which promotes relaxation and reduces anxiety without causing drowsiness and aids in focus and attention. L-tyrosine, which supports cognitive function and focus. L-lysine is really important for collagen production and immune support. So if you take L-lysine with your collagen, they work together really well in order to have your body absorb it better. Vitamin B12 is for the energy levels and the nervous system health. And then as for the evening with dinner or for bed, I have magnesium glycinate. Specifically, it has to be magnesium glycinate. Otherwise, you're just giving yourself a laxative. And although I could probably use some of that too. That's not what I was intending for. It helps with relaxation, reduces anxiety, and improves sleep quality. I did get rid of the ashwagandha. Pretty sad though, so if you can take ashwagandha, highly recommend it because it reduces stress and anxiety and it promotes relaxation and a better sleep quality. Trying that. I need to get back on it this month with those just because I see those benefits a lot more. I would like to post 2 times a week here on YouTube. I am struggling to keep up with even the 1 time a week. I feel like if I got the rest of everything else in order, then I would have more, not inspiration, but just be so less overwhelmed with the rest of my life that I could take on another task here with content creating. So a big thing that stops me from creating content most of the time is the fact that my house is in disarray all the time. It's so messy. It's so cluttered. So a huge thing that I would like to do this month is just declutter a lot of stuff and find a home for everything that needs homes, because I just get so overwhelmed and I get so discouraged because I feel like nobody wants to see my messy house all the time. And it just isn't very aesthetic. And so I get really down on myself about that a lot. Having 3 kids home 24/7, 365 means that my house is also going to be that crazy. So I've been very good about keeping my room pretty clean, and this has become my sanctuary, my little safe space, because even my office, my kids do come in there a lot, especially whenever I'm working, obviously, and I also share that room with them with their books, because they have all their books with my books. They've been doing this thing where they just throw all their books on my office floor, and I'm trying to help them instill regimens and stuff in order for them to have a better lifestyle as well. And I feel like if I help them, it helps me, and helping myself also helps them. It's just a whole cycle thing. So decluttering the space so I'm not so overwhelmed with cleaning all the time, and also just feeling very inspired within my space and appreciating my home and loving my home, because this home does take care of us. It does give us a safe place, and I really need to value it and take care of it just like it takes care of us, you know? So far, that's my only goals that I really have for July. Let's move on to some of my favorites. I have a few. skincare items that I have introduced with over like the past 2 months, and they've recently really became like my favorites. The first one is this hyaluronic acid moisture and toner from It's Skin, a Korean brand, and we all know that Korean skincare is top tier. Yeah, so immediately after washing my face, I go in with this stuff and I slap it all over. And I have found that this really moisturizes my skin very, very well. I used to have super flaky, very dry skin, and now it's very glowy. And then there's this girl on TikTok. I think her name isn't Vanilla Swirl, but her handle is Vanilla Swirl on TikTok, and she has this trio that she does that she like ride or die for. First off is the La Roche-Posay Purifying Foaming Cleanser, and I have been loving this stuff so much. I have been struggling to find a foaming cleanser that really gets everything off and leaves my skin feeling clean, but like not so clean where it hurts. You know what I mean? Like I used to use the Dial bar soap, the yellow one, and that would just leave my skin feeling very tight, but not in a good way. And so this has been key. And then after that, I use the Vanny Cream mixed with Sky Organics organic castor oil. It's really good. It's free of dyes and fragrance, masking fragrance, lanolin, parabens, formaldehyde releasers, all of that. So it's just really good for sensitive skin. And I put a little bit extra of the castor oil just under my eyes right here and on my lashes and on my brows. And I also like to use this for whenever I am doing a slick back bun. So instead of using hairspray or something, I'll go in with this oil and kind of make like a hair mask out of it and slick back my hair with that, and also put it on the ends and stuff, and that has worked really well. This has been like my holy grail thing that I've been using this month. I had a very bad bacterial kind of fungal infection after using an Aquaphor stick on my face, and this stuff has been keeping the breakouts away like crazy. It is the Skin Smart Antimicrobial Facial Cleanser, and so 2 or 3 times a day I will spray my face with this. Get too sweaty, or if I'm cleaning and I feel like I feel really gross, or after working out, this stuff is a godsend. And it smells like pool water, but honestly, it smells like summer, baby. That is all of the products that I have. I had a pretty good reading month, actually, because do you see this book here? That is a chunky book. So let's go over the 6 books that I read. These are in no particular order. Done and Dusted. I have been on my cowboy romance era. I've heard so many good things about Done and Dusted, so I just knew that it was one that I needed to pick up, and it did not disappoint. I loved this book so much. I feel like the representation for the ADHD and everything was really great. I loved the chemistry between these 2 characters, and I just had a really, really fun time. Friendships within this book just felt very natural. And I did enjoy seeing Emmy go through this process of overcoming some fears that she has from trauma, and that was just really great as well. And then after that, just kind of right on that, is Powerless by Elsie Silver, which is the other very big cowboy ranch series that floats around on TikTok. So this one is about Jasper. He is the adopted brother from the Eaton boys. It's between Jasper and Sloane. I gave this book a 3.5. The steam in this was done very nicely. I enjoyed the steam very much. That's not the issue that I had with this book, which is crazy because typically I'm like, oh, there's too much steam, there's too much spice for my personal taste. And this one, I just felt like these 2 characters never really fully stepped out of their roles as the side characters. So it just kind of felt like a little novella, a little side plot kind of thing to the Chestnut Springs series. And then I marked 2 books off of my major TBR that I have been wanting to knock off for a long time, and that is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I've been telling myself that I was going to read this for well over a year now, and I finally did. And don't be deceived, it may look like a really small book if you like looked at these 2 books together. This one is thicker, this would probably take you longer to read. False. This book was like a 6-hour read. This book is a 24-hour read. Books are very deceiving. But this, I listened to it in hand with the audiobook. I really enjoyed doing it that way, so I will continue to do it that way with the rest of the series. But I feel like Obviously, this is a 5-star. I love Brandon Sanderson. He just does his fantasy so well, and the way that he writes his female protagonists, you can just tell it's from a very respectful way. He obviously respects the women and girls in his life, and I love that. His female protagonists have a way of kicking ass, but also being humble, and they're not overly snarky. And I think a lot of ways that a lot of romanticies are done this way is that their female characters are very hard-headed, very snarky, always have something to say, and I like that his characters are more quiet and reserved in that way, but still have a lot of personality to them. The friendships and relationships in this book feel like these characters have been friends for years and years and years, and it doesn't feel forced whatsoever. The magic system is incredibly unique. This one is the last book in a trilogy. It is the War of the Lost Hearts trilogy. Again, I have been meaning to read this for the last year, but I was putting it off, and I just don't know why. So, Mother of Death and Dawn, last book. This is by Carissa Broadbent, who is also the author of Serpent and the Wings of Night. Very beloved romantasy series. And I think that this series is done so much better than Serpent and the Wings of Night. I love that book, love that series, but this is just a different league. Carissa Broadbent really outdid herself with this one. It's like she had a full spice cabinet with this. She was putting in everything and just layering in to make this really nice melted flavor that just hits all the right notes on your tongue. And Serpent and the Wings of Night she just a little salt, a little pepper, and maybe some paprika in there. It wasn't bland, but it just didn't have the flavor and layers of seasoning that this trilogy does. I love it so, so much. Obviously 5 stars. I have a whole reading vlog on this video. I do go through some emotions with this. Not necessarily sad emotions where I'm crying, but more so frustration. I do get pretty frustrated with this book, but it ends up evening itself out in the end, and I still give it a 5-star. Still love it. It's great. And then I read this book for a 24-hour readathon. I have yet to post it, but this is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This is one of those books where you should go into it where you know absolutely nothing about it. The only detail that I will give you about this is that it is about a man named Jason. He has had this life. He has been a college professor for the last 15 years of his life. He's married to this artist. Her name is Daniela. They have a son together. I believe he has just this very kind of picture-perfect life. He gave up his scientific career in order to have his family. And so this book kind of plays into that of, oh, what would happen if I had made a different choice at this one very pivotal moment in my life, because it is a sci-fi thriller. If I tell you the science behind it, it is pretty predictable, and I feel like you need to go into this book without knowing anything about it because you want to be able to step into the shoes of the narrator in this book. And he doesn't really know a whole lot of what's going on, so then you in turn should not know a whole lot of going on, so that some of those twists and surprises are equally as shocking to you. And overall, I think I gave this a 4.5. It wasn't incredibly mind-blowing like I thought it would be based off of other people's reviews, but it's still very fast-paced. I think I read this book in about 3 hours or so, which I was blazing through this so quickly, and it has definitely given me an appetite for more sci-fi. Highly recommend for anybody wanting to get into sci-fi, for sure. Lastly, and certainly least, was Where Good Girls Go to Die. I don't have anything good to say about this book, unfortunately. I love Holly Renee as an author. I love her other work. There was no characters in this book that I really liked, except for there was one character. She was a side character, and she was the one who was getting cheated on, and she was the only character that I liked in this book, and we didn't get very much of her at all. Basically, every character in this book is terrible. They're terrible people. They have no redeeming qualities. And this is the first book in, I think it's a 3-book series. Yeah, it's about this girl. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember her name. Parker is her brother's best friend, and she was in love with him. It wasn't entirely unrequited love, so they start kind of like going through these feelings with each other. It goes from past and present form, and it is dual POV. Like I said, none of these characters had any redeeming qualities. Not once did I feel like I was like, oh yeah, get it. No thanks. As we get on to the books that I have planned for this month, I don't have all of them here. This is a massive stack. And I don't have all of them here because some of them I have through audiobook, and then as well as I have a few on hold at the library. If they come through, we'll see. So, first one is Dungeons and Drama, which is just a cute little YA romance about this girl, Riley. She is very active within the musical theater community. She wants to be a musical director, but she does something that ends up getting her grounded and lands her a spot as a storekeeper at her dad's. It's like a game store, but not like a video game store. It's board games and card games like Magic, things like that. First, she's very reluctant to be there as she grows to know one of the boys who works there, and through his friends, she ends up joining their D&D group. It is so cute and so light and fun. It's just so... You can tell I've already read it. Then we have Not in Love, which is by Ali Hazelwood. So Rue Siebert is some sort of food scientist. I don't exactly remember. I've started it already. Her company is having this takeover done by a group called the Harkness Group, and they bought the loan from the company. One of the head CEOs, I think, is what he is. So like him and her had like this little online dating app interaction, and they actually saw each other in person, and they were gonna, but ended up not. And then the next day after the date, she sees that he is the one that is coming to take over their company. This is definitely, I think, supposed to be a bit steamier than Ali Hazelwood's typical writing. And so far, I'm actually really liking it. I haven't hit any steam at any point, which I'm totally fine with. I'm on chapter like 11. I'm liking this different tonal change that she's kind of hit with. It seems a little bit more mature, and I'm really enjoying that. Last month, I read Done and Dusted, so this month I'm reading Swift and Saddled. Wes is one of the brothers. This is Emmy's brother, and then Ada is a architect, I think, because he is wanting to make a guest house on the ranch, turn it into like kind of like an inn guest house sort of thing, and so she is building that. She's a city girl. I don't know if you can tell, but I just know that that's just gonna be so good. Last month I did read Mistborn, so I would like to continue on with The Well of Ascension. I've already used my Audible credit in order to get this on audiobook as well, because I do want to continue with audio. Idea that I would like to do this month, which is Weird Books for Weird Girls. So some of these books, as well as some other ones that I have, are a bit more on the weird side. So we have Mother Thing. Don't know much about this. Yeah, I can't tell you anything about this. Mother Thing, I'm guessing it has some like Frankenstein kind of esque elements to it. Yeah, I wish I could tell you more about this. This is one of those books where I want to go into it not knowing much. Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. And again, I don't know a bunch about this book. I know that it has a lot to do with beauty standards, and it has sort of like that fever-like dream that Bunny does. And so I figured that was going to be good. The other one that I don't have on me currently, but is going to be an audiobook, is Monstrilio. So that is about a mother who has lost her son, and so she does something kind of Frankenstein-esque, and I think uses like a part of his lung or his kidney or something in order to bring him back. But it takes a very dark kind of tonal shift into it, and that sounds really good. And I know that it talks a lot about like on grief and motherhood and on that point. And then the last three, I have Hot Blooded by Heather Goddard. I read Cold Hearted a few months ago for my werewolf romance vlog that I was doing, and by far one of my favorite books that I've read for the year, and so I wanted to pick up the second book in that series. It's the Tooth and Claw series, and so this one is going to be a vampire romance, which we love. And then speaking of vampires, I saw Olivia Rizzolatti talk about this book, and she said it's like a mix of Practical Magic, Gilmore Girls, I think was the other one, and something else, but it's called Bless Your Heart. It's 1999 in Southeast Texas, and the Evans women, owners of the only funeral parlor in town, are keeping steady with normal business. The dead die, you bury them, and a story. That's how Ducey Evans has done it for the last 80 years, when her progeny, Lenore, the experimenter, and Grace, Lenore's soft-hearted daughter, have run the Evans funeral parlor for the last 15 years without drama. Ever since that god-awful mess that left 2 bodies in the ground and Grace raising her infant daughter Luna alone. But when town gossip Mina Jean Murphy's body is brought in for regular burial, and she rises from the dead instead, it's clear that the Strigoi, the original vampires, are back. And the Evans women are the ones who need to fight to protect their town. So that sounds really fun. And then the last one is actually a nonfiction. So with it being July and the summer is coming to an end, I want to get more focused on homeschooling the kids and get that inspiration. And one that I find that is very inspirational to me is reading this book. I didn't finish it last year, and so I would like to finish it this year. It is Call of the Wild and Free, Reclaiming Wonder in Your Child's Education. I do secular homeschooling, so it's really hard to find books that are not religious-based. She focuses on cultivating a love of nature, reading great books, and nurturing kids' sense of curiosity, joy, and the awe of essence of a positive childhood. And that's all, like, I am really about, is just letting my kids be kids and enjoying their childhood, but indulging in their curiosities and having a joy for life, you know? I feel like this is going to be really good to get me inspired once again. Homeschooling is definitely something that you need to continuously inspire yourself and find new ways of creativity and keeping it fresh and new for both you as the teacher and parent, but also for the kids as well, because it can get very stagnant very quick. So just kind of finding new things to kind of keep my energy levels high for it rather than feeling very burnt out. So I was gonna do like a whole reset of part of the video where I do my Notion refresh, which is really just making like a new header on the top with my vision board. So if that's something that you want to see, let me know. I was gonna put it in this video, but I'm pretty sure this video is already like over an hour long because I just don't know how to stop yapping. So if that's something that you're interested in, please let me know. I would love to hear maybe what you're interested in reading for the month of July, and also maybe a goal that you have for yourself, and leave me a plant emoji down below. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you have a fantastic July and that it's filled with inspiration and it's creativity and all the things. I love you so much, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. And of course, stay excellent. Bye!